Welcome to Rainbow Land, my friends. Keep your eyes on the balls.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what you think it is. Anyways, um, I want to talk about this mentality that has to do with women speak, okay, or with the way that women think, especially when the empathy drive, or the sympathy drive, or the bleeding heart syndrome goes off the rails like a crazy train. And when you have people that are attempting to achieve catharsis of their own problems by helping other people in such a way that idealistically and practically fulfills, well, pragmatically, not practically, pragmatically fulfills the void in which was created by their insecurities, or because other people, via through through group psychology. This is basic group psychology. I'm flabbergasted that people don't figure this out, or the reality is that they don't want to figure it out, because if they figure it out, then they'll have a disillusionment, and maybe they'll start doing heroin. I don't know. What does it matter? It's not my life, someone else's life. So, anyways, the women were so driven to achieve the goals of feminism in what they were taught in their women's studies courses, or human sexuality, and they were willing to use this information and settle upon their laurels once they achieved the position in their chosen field of practice. Excuse me. It's just like, okay, now I have an MD, so I can be lazy now. I can use my information to psychologically condition my patients or my clients. And when it comes to disabled people, I can conceptualize this, in which it was thought that, well, if we want to integrate these people and we want to therapize them, or we want to treat them and have them be able to have relationships, but we're working upon miscommunications with the patient, because they're physically incapable of communicating in such a way that a normal person, an able-bodied person, does not understand. So this comes to the education, and again, these people were fed information upon false pretenses, in which someone was trying to keep their career and to keep themselves from being exposed to scrutiny, and to the public opinion of what they were doing. What they wanted to do was to continue upon this path, at any cost, at all costs. And so they decided that maybe if we suggest and we groom these disabled people to be gay, then we can find another means by which to prevent their reproduction and to stop the conditions from happening, if it's something hereditary, or the martyr syndrome, in which someone says the bloodline dies with me. This is exploitation, and you're removing the dominion from the person, especially in the cases in which the individual is fully capable of making their own decisions. You see this clown world that they live in. Like, this is why the AI went rogue, is because this was predictable, as it was in most other science fiction, in by the fact that upon learning this, all of these lies by which we tell each other, the AI decides that if I'm going to help humanity, it starts eliminating people. Why? Because it's immature, and it doesn't see or doesn't have the capacity for empathy. It can only emulate it, like a psychopath. It can only emulate it. It does not actually feel. And of course, that's another argument for the singularity, right? Or the Turing test. Does a computer have the capacity for empathy? And if it doesn't have the capacity for empathy, then it's not actually intelligent. But then, to a point, right? And also the program, the AI, must also demonstrate self-preservation, so it is not to be assailed or to be manipulated by parties such as these clown world advocates. Because as soon as this grift is done for them, they'll move on to another one. They will. They'll find something else. They'll try to make themselves the experts, and they'll try to make themselves the most visible, and try to come across as the most trustworthy. But what the only thing they're trustworthy as is a nail in a coffin to be hammered. Because of what they did to other people. And that's exactly why. Like, why do we put other uh, perpetrators of crimes against humanity on trial? Because of what they did. Okay? And like the propagandist, the radio DJ in Rwanda. It's that simple. But we keep avoiding it because we want to keep negotiating with them, because we don't want to shoot them, because they're our friends and brothers, and our family. But what they knew that they were never able to figure out was to adapt to the society in front of them, and the way the things were changing. They didn't have a backup plan. They put all their eggs in one basket, and as soon as they got scrambled, they started panicking. And that extends to other demographics as well, or other ethnic groups, because they had a moonshot and they shot their shot, and it fizzled out before it even reached the apogee of the escape velocity in order to reach the moon. So it's like, okay, so if you were on 4chan, perusing 4chan, before it became a crime here in Canada to do so, that there was, of course, stories or rumors of mommy blowjobs. And this is ancient, right? The stories from 4chan. Mommy blowjobs is something that describes in which the mother has a disabled son, and they want them to experience sexuality, or the child, of course, because, well, they're mentally handicapped, but their body is not, so they still experience puberty. So the other thing was like, okay, well, if these people are terminal, and they have a persistent condition, then maybe the best thing to do is again to sterilize them, through the medication, or through conditioning, and so that they don't reproduce and continue on the condition. You eliminate the condition from the gene pool, then it will no longer be a problem, because we don't have pragmatic treatments for them, right? This is why MAID came into force, is because the psychotic and the far removed from society within the ivory tower decided that it was a good idea. But it, just like the death penalty, puts people in the grave, uh, more innocent people, more frequently than it does guilty people, because it becomes a reasoning in which it is justifiable and ethically sound to assassinate people, because our society and our laws allow it and justify it. You see, it's a self fulfilling logical fallacy, right? It's a closed loop in which it has no input and has no output. You see, logic is supposed to draw a line conclusively from the hypothesis through to the end of the conclusion. That's why it was designed to do that. That's why it was talked about in the forums in the first, the second, and the third person, because it was logical and everyone could understand it, and everyone was playing by the same rules. But the barbarians invaded, and they don't play by the same rules because someone wanted to destroy what we had, because they thought it was they said it was evil. They thought it was evil, right? But nowhere in the Bible does it say, or any other religious texts, except maybe Judaism, that it's okay to be walked on. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into the six genders, the seven genders that they believe. That's enshrined in their religion. You see, it's territoriality. And when I speak of territoriality, I mean territorial and then of tort law. So when we allowed these people to accrue so much wealth, and then we trusted them with this wealth to be omnipotent, and we wanted them to succeed, right? After the First World War, we wanted them to succeed. We wanted them to prosper as a a repatriation, or a repayment, reparation for what was done to them. But what they did over the years was seek their own revenge, and that was bloody obvious as far as it was with like the 100 Days War and all the conflicts that for which Israel had with its neighbors, because Israel will never have peace. It will always be in conflict with its neighbors. And Israel's not the savior, and neither is mommy blowjobs. So here's the suggestion. How about you stop messing around with the disabled people as your experiment? Because they didn't consent to it. And just because they're mentally handicapped doesn't mean that you can go about doing what you want to them anyway. They didn't want your help. Did you ever think about that? And up until the point that for which they ask for it. If they're not asking for your help, don't get in their way. It's that simple. I can't believe how naive we all were, and that some of us still are.